Hello, fourth grade. Welcome back to the exciting world of measurement. We are still working on TEK 4.8, which says I can identify and convert customary units of measurement. And so far we've talked about length, which was in miles, yards, feet, and inches. And we've talked about capacity, which was in gallons, quarts, pints, cups, and fluid ounces. Today, we're going to be talking about weight, customary units of weight. We want to be able to identify them as well as convert or change them. Now, we are going to be looking at things. Our customary units of weight come in three sizes. They come in an ounce, they come in a pound, and they come in a ton. And you're wondering, what in the world are those, Miss Raymond? Well, an ounce is the smallest one. And if you have a key like this is about an ounce, okay? About. Or a AA battery, that's about an ounce. Or if you have 6 sheets of paper, 6 sheets of paper is about an ounce. So an ounce is pretty small because if you think of a key or a battery or sheets of paper, they're not very heavy. Our next unit of measurement is a pound. And I have a can of beans here, which is about a pound. We use these to make chili, yum, yum. So this is about a pound. It says it is 16 or 15.8 ounces, so it's almost a pound. So if you had a can like this or a can of soup, that's about a pound, all right? Or if you have a dinner plate, something like Miss Raymond's here, this one is about a pound too. Again, not super heavy, but you might be familiar with pounds because whenever you go to the doctors, that's how they measure your weight is in pounds. Now, the other unit of measurement used to measure weight is a ton. And just like I couldn't fit a mile inside my classroom because it's too big, I can't fit a ton inside my classroom either. So let's take a look here. Here I have a 1979 Volkswagen Beetle, and I'm specifying the year. This is an old car. This was made when Miss Raymond was 2 years old, so a long time ago. And I'm specifying the year because the newer Volkswagen Beetles are made with fiberglass on the outside, so they're much lighter. But this 1979 Volkswagen Beetle was made of metal, so it's going to be much heavier, and it equals about a ton, or 2,000 pounds. A giraffe, an adult giraffe, also weighs about a ton. And also a great white shark weighs about a ton. So you see now why I don't want them in the classroom. Those are just way too big. But all of those things weigh about a ton. So now that we can identify our customary measurements of weight in an ounce, a pound, and a ton, we're going to work on converting them. Now you may have noticed that we have a chart posted in Schoology. Maybe your teachers gave it to you, and it is a very handy chart indeed. It's called the Measurement Conversion Strategy. And this really helps us narrow down on what exactly we are supposed to do in order to convert or change those. Now, we can't change pounds to inches, of course, and we can't change inches to gallons. That doesn't work. But we can change inches to feet. So here you see the problem. Jacob had 648 inches of electrical wire. How many feet does he have? So they want you to change it or convert it from inches to feet. So step 1 is write what you are looking for and what you have in the problem. We have 648 inches. We have that right here. We're asking how many feet, so question mark feet. Then write what you know about inches and feet equivalencies on top. Make sure you match up the units. So you write inches above inches, feet above feet. So I know, just because I have a ruler, that 12 inches equals 1 foot. And I wrote that right above my 648 and my question mark feet. Now you circle the unit you're trying to find and then draw an arrow to that unit. So we have a foot here. We're looking for feet. How many feet is it? So we circle it and then we draw an arrow from this to this. Now you just have to look at it. It says determine how you get to that number. So I'm going to look at this number here, 12, and I'm going to look at the number 1. If I go from 12 to 1, is my number getting smaller or bigger? You're right, it's getting smaller because 1 is smaller than 12. So when we are converting units, we're going to either multiply or divide. Which makes it smaller, multiplying or dividing? You're right, we're going to divide. We're going to divide 12 divided by 12 equals 1. So if that's what I did to change it from inches to feet here, then that's what I'm going to do down here. I'm going to do 648 divided by 12, and that will tell me how many feet it is. We see here 648 divided by 12 equals 54. Now, multiples of 12 can be a little tricky, so be sure to use your multiplication chart for that. Another cool chart that we can use is those star papers that your teachers have given you. You do not have to remember all of those, that 2,000 pounds equals a ton and 36 inches equals 3 feet, because it's on that star chart paper for you to use as a handy reference. So let's take a look at some problems on converting. And my video recorded and there was no sound, so I'm going to tell you what I'm doing on this. So here I have the problem, 3 pounds equals how many ounces? This is my question mark right here. And notice I write the L with a slant and a hook so that it does not look like the number 1, and I'm leaving a space right here. Otherwise, it could very easily look like 31, and we don't want it to look like 31. So we write the number, we leave a space, we write the L with a hook on it. Now I'm going to write what I know. I know 1 pound equals 16 ounces. And notice I wrote pounds above pounds, ounces above ounces. So 1 pound, I'm going to circle what I'm trying to figure out. I'm trying to figure out the ounces, and then I draw my arrow toward what I'm trying to figure out. If I go from 1 to 16, is my number getting bigger or smaller? You're right, it's getting bigger. So 1 times 16 equals 16. That lets me know that I need to do 3 times 16, or 16 times 3, to find out how many ounces. 6 times 3 is 18. 1 times 3 is 3, plus 1 is 4. So 3 pounds equals 48 ounces. Now let's move on to this word problem. Mr. Kunkel uses a bowling ball that weighs 13 pounds. How many ounces does the bowling ball weigh? Well, I see 13 pounds here. Oops, I forgot to leave my space. I want to leave a space in between my number and my label so I don't confuse it. And I put the little hook on my L, on the L on my pounds. And then that equals how many ounces? I don't know how many ounces that is. Okay. So then we write above it what we do know. I know 1 pound equals 16 ounces. I'm going to circle what I'm trying to figure out and draw an arrow toward it. Now I'm going to look. If I go from 1 to 16, is the number getting bigger or smaller? You're right, it's getting bigger. So we did times 16. 1 times 16 equals 16. So that lets me know if I do 13 times 16, that I will find out how many ounces are in 13 pounds. Okay, we're going to ignore the tens place now, and we're just going to take 13 times 6. So 3 times 6 is 18. 1 times 6 is 6, plus 1 is 7. All right, now I'm going to multiply by the tens place. And I want to, because I'm multiplying by the tens place, I have to put my placeholder 0. There it is. So I can start in the tens place because now I'm multiplying by the tens. So I'm going to ignore the 6 now. That's why I'm covering it up. So I'm just going to take 3 times 1, which is 3. And then I'm going to take 1 times 1. I cross that out because I used it last time when I was multiplying by the ones. I don't need it this time. So I'm going to take 1 times 1, which is 1. Now I'm going to add those together. I multiplied by the 1 spot 6. I multiplied by the 10 spot. And I'm going to add 8 plus 0 is 8. 7 plus 3 is 10. Carry the 1. 208. So 13 pounds equals 208 ounces. So that's how we solve those problems. If you make sure to use that measurement conversion chart and go ahead and line up what you know above what you're trying to find out, circle what you're trying to figure out, draw your arrow over, and then do the math, you can convert ounces to pounds, pounds to ounces, maybe even pounds to tons, and see how big things are. Ladies and gentlemen, happy measuring and happy converting. Have a great day.